All right, it's grass cutting day for us. So we have a good amount of grass being cut, which also means it's flip the compost day also. So every time we cut grass, we bag it and then throw it in a wheelbarrow. We don't leave the grass clippings. I do fertilize the lawn, so we do have a good amount of grass, because grass is what fuels the compost bin. So in our case, we have a leftover bin, or a leftover pile of about a year's worth of compost. So we have a good amount of brown stuff that's in the midst of composting, but it needs that extra bit of fuel to get it to that end phase. And that's what your greens are that provide the nitrogen for the browns. So every time we cut the grass, it's one of the more annoying, tedious tasks, is that I flip this whole bed, which is quite big. This is at least, I don't know, 10 by 10, and it's pretty high. So it takes me about an hour to do it. And what I do is I don't throw all of it on top. I do a lasagna bed, which is one layer of browns, one layer of green, one layer of brown. So I do that intermixing, and it provides all the browns another layer of greens to then fuel it to get it into the next phase. So I do this all summer. So when the summer does burn off all the grass and nothing grows anymore, it's not the end of the world for me, because that means I don't have to do this every couple weeks. But early in the season in spring, it becomes a quite frequent task, at least bi-weekly, and we have a good amount of grass that comes through here. But ultimately it is the fuel that gives the browns that ultimately gives the compost, and that's what we try to not buy any. We bought it the first couple years to establish the beds, but more recently we haven't needed to, simply because we do this sort of exercise. So you will see that I will flip this whole bed into this area here, and it will be all stacked up nice and high. I have my compost thermometer, or at least I did. Maybe an animal took it. That tells me the temperature. It will go from not really a compost bed into a very hot steaming compost bed of about 100, 120, and it'll stay like that for about 2 weeks, and then it will cool off a little bit, and at that point I will flip it again, put more greens into that. So this task goes all the way until the end of the summer, into the fall. Once everything is done, then the pile just sits there with the grass, and then it's filtered, and then it gives us compost. So don't underestimate the utility of what grass clippings can do, not only for your lawn, but certainly for your compost pile. Yes, it is a tedious task, but I think it's a necessary task to get me to what I want to achieve, and that is to supply everything that I need for what I'm doing here by my own lonesome self. So yes, it sucks, but it is good.